The great chamber of the Galactic Council stretched across 3 kilometers of pure crystalline structure. 1,200 species had sent their representatives to this sacred place. They came from every corner of the known universe. Some floated in liquid tanks. Others stood on mechanical legs. A few existed only as projected light from distant worlds. All of them had gathered for one purpose. They would decide the fate of a small blue planet called Earth. High Arbiter of the Empire raised his 4 arms to silence the crowd. His silver skin reflected the 1,000 lights of the chamber. He had judged 347 species in his long life. Most had been found worthy. Some had been destroyed. A few had been enslaved for the greater good of the galaxy. Today would be no different, or so he believed. "Bring forward the evidence against the humans," commanded. A holographic display activated in the center of the chamber. Images of Earth appeared. The council watched as humans fought wars against each other. They saw nuclear explosions. They witnessed pollution spreading across oceans. They observed humans hunting other species to extinction. Ambassador of the Collective spoke first. His voice was like grinding stones. "These creatures are barely civilized. They have possessed nuclear technology for less than a century, yet they have already used it against their own kind. Twice. They burn their own world for energy. They cannot even achieve peace among themselves. How can we allow such a dangerous species to enter the galactic community?" Murmurs of agreement spread through the chamber. Many representatives nodded their heads or made similar gestures according to their biology. The delegate slithered forward. Her scales shimmered with disgust. "We have observed them for 50 of their years. They show no signs of improvement. Their aggression is genetic. Their violence is constant. I propose immediate neutralization before they develop faster than light travel. They must never be allowed to spread among the stars." More agreement filled the chamber. The vote seemed certain. Earth would be destroyed. 7 billion humans would die, and they would never even know why. But then something unexpected happened. A small ship appeared at the edge of the solar system where the council chamber floated. It was primitive. It used chemical propulsion. It had no shields, no weapons that could threaten even the smallest council vessel. It was the most basic spacecraft the council had ever seen. Yet it had traveled farther than any human vessel before it. It had crossed the void between stars using nothing but determination and desperate hope. "What is this?" demanded. "How did they find us?" The answer came quickly. Human scientists had detected strange energy signatures near their solar system. They had tracked the council's observation probes. They had calculated the location of the council chamber, and they had sent a ship. "They wish to speak," reported a council technician. "They are requesting permission to present their case." Laughter erupted from many delegates. The idea was absurd. No species had ever been allowed to defend itself before the council. Judgment was absolute. It was final. It was not a debate. But was curious. In all his centuries of service, no species had ever discovered the council before being contacted. These humans had done the impossible. They had found the unfindable. "Let them speak," the High Arbiter said. The human vessel docked with great difficulty. Its technology was incompatible with council systems. The humans had to physically cut through their own hull and float across to the station in primitive space suits. It took them 4 hours to complete a journey that any council species could have done in seconds. When they finally arrived, the council saw them clearly for the first time. There were 3 of them, 2 women and 1 man. They were small compared to most council species. They had no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no armored skin. They looked fragile. They looked weak. But their eyes told a different story. There was fire in those eyes. There was something the council had rarely seen in their long history of judging species. There was defiance. The lead human stepped forward. Her name was Commander Sarah. She was 53 years old. She had spent her entire life preparing for this moment. even though she had not known it existed until 6 months ago. "I know why we are here," she said. Her voice was calm but strong. "You have watched us, you have judged us, you have found us guilty of being violent, of being destructive, of being dangerous." She paused and looked around the massive chamber. Thousands of alien eyes stared back at her. Most were filled with contempt. Some showed curiosity. A few displayed something close to pity. "You are right," Commander continued. "We are all of those things. We have done terrible things to each other and to our world. We have started wars over lines drawn on maps. We have killed millions for reasons that seem foolish even to us. We have nearly destroyed ourselves more times than I can count." The council members looked at each other in confusion. This was not a defense. This was a confession. What game was this human playing? "But you have not seen everything," said. "You have watched our wars, but have you watched our peace? You have seen our hatred, but have you seen our love?" She pressed a button on a small device she carried. A new holographic display appeared, overriding the council's systems. The humans had hacked into their technology, another impossible thing. New images filled the chamber. They showed humans rushing into burning buildings to save strangers. They showed doctors working without sleep to cure diseases. They showed ordinary people giving their last food to others who were hungry. They showed soldiers throwing themselves onto explosives to protect their friends. "This is humanity," said. "We are capable of great darkness, but we are also capable of great light. Every atrocity you have recorded, there is an equal act of courage. For every war, there is a peace that followed. For every time we have fallen, we have risen again." The images continued. They showed humans rebuilding cities after earthquakes. They showed strangers forming human chains to rescue drowning victims. They showed a single man standing in front of tanks to demand freedom. They showed millions marching peacefully for justice. "You have lived among the stars for millions of years," continued. "You have achieved peace within your species. You have eliminated violence from your societies. And you look at us with disgust because we have not done the same." She stepped closer to the High Arbiter. Security forces moved to stop her but waved them back. He wanted to hear what she would say next. "But consider this," said. "Your species evolved on peaceful worlds. You had no natural predators. You had abundant resources. You had stable climates. Cooperation was easy for you because survival was easy." She pointed to the image of Earth floating in the display. "Our world was not kind to us. We evolved being hunted by predators with sharper teeth and stronger claws. We survived ice ages that killed most life on our planet. We lived through asteroid impacts and supervolcanic eruptions. We had to fight for every single day of our existence." The chamber had grown silent. Even the most hostile delegates were listening now. "You have judged us for our violence," said. "But our violence is why we exist. Without it, we would have been eaten by predators. We would have starved in harsh winters. We would have been destroyed by the 1,000 dangers that our world threw at us." She raised her hand and pointed at the council members one by one. "You call us primitive because we still fight, but we have only had technology for a few thousand years. You have had it for millions. Give us time. We are learning. We are growing. We are becoming better, not because it is easy, but because we choose to be better. Every single day we choose." The second human stepped forward. His name was Dr. James. He was a historian who had spent his life studying human conflict and resolution. "In the last century alone, we have made more progress toward peace than in all our previous history," he said. "We have created international organizations to resolve conflicts. We have reduced the rate of violent death to the lowest level ever recorded. We have fed more people, cured more diseases, and educated more children than any generation before us." He showed new data on the display, statistics, numbers, cold facts that could not be. "We are not asking you to forgive our past," Doctor said. "We are asking you to believe in our future." The third human stepped forward. Her name was Private Maria Santos. She was the youngest of the three, barely 25 years old. She had been a soldier. She had seen combat. She had killed enemies and watched friends die. And yet here she stood, fighting with words instead of weapons. "I have done things I am not proud of," she said quietly. "I have hurt people. I have taken lives. Every species you have welcomed into your council has probably done the same at some point in their history. The difference is they forgot. They erased their violent past and pretended it never existed. We remember. We carry our sins with us because they remind us of what we must never become again." She looked directly at the High Arbiter. "You want to destroy us because we are dangerous, but think about what we could become if you give us a chance. We have crossed the void between stars in a ship held together with hope and wire. We have hacked into technology that is millions of years more advanced than ours. We have stood before the most powerful council in the galaxy and spoken without fear." Her voice grew stronger. "If we can do all of that while we are young and divided and still learning, imagine what we could do when we are old and united and wise. We could be your greatest allies. Or you can destroy us and never know what you have lost." Commander stepped forward again for the final argument. "You have the power to end us. We cannot stop you. Our weapons are toys compared to yours. Our ships are jokes. Our civilization is a spark against your eternal flame." She straightened her spine and lifted her chin. "But know this, if you attack Earth, we will fight. Every man, woman, and child will resist. We will use every weapon, every trick, every ounce of strength we possess. You will win, that is certain. But we will make you pay for every inch of our world. We will make you remember humanity forever. Not as a species you conquered, but as a species that refused to surrender. That is who we are. That is what we are. And that is what we will always be." The chamber remained silent for a long time. The council members looked at each other. They had never seen anything like this. They had never met a species that admitted its flaws so openly. That carried its shame like a badge of honor. That turned weakness into strength through sheer force of will. High Arbiter stood slowly. He had lived for 8,000 years. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had judged countless species and thought he understood the universe. But these humans had taught him something new. "The judgment is postponed," he announced. "Earth will be given 100 years to prove itself. The humans will be watched. They will be tested. And if they show that they are worthy, they will be welcomed into the galactic community." He looked at the three humans standing alone, against the might of 1,200 species. "You have shown courage today," he said. "You have shown wisdom, and you have shown something I have not seen in a very long time. You have shown hope. Do not make us regret this decision." Commander nodded. "We will not, I promise you we will not." The three humans returned to their primitive ship and began the long journey home. Behind them, the council continued to debate what they had witnessed. Some were angry, some were impressed, all were uncertain. But one thing was clear. Humanity had been judged and found worthy of a chance. What they did with that chance would determine the fate of their species. And somewhere in the vast chamber, quietly watching, a few council members began to believe that these strange, violent, beautiful creatures from Earth might just surprise them all. The stars awaited, and humanity was ready to reach for them.